Back with another episode of Dragon Age Origins. Last time we left off, we were in the Korcari Wilds. And, yeah. Before we get into things, as I'd like to start to do, to say, as always, we're going to go into our codex, and today I think we're going to read about characters. You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. Alistair was a novel Templar when Duncan recruited him into the Grey Wardens. Or rescued him, as Alistair would say. I believe these update, actually, the characters, so we'll probably be reading through the characters quite a bit. Oh, and we probably won't read controls. We might do some quest-related stuff as needed as it comes up. And we'll go through culture and history, because I don't think we've been through that quite as much. King Cailan Theron. I'd hoped for a war like in the tales, a king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. Son of the legendary King Merrick Theron, Cailan was the first Ferelden king born into a land free from foreign rule in 2 generations. Since his father's death, he's held the throne alongside his queen, Honora. Duncan. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness. And prevailed. Excuse me. Like many others, Duncan gave up his family name when he joined the ranks of the Wardens, a symbolic gesture of cutting ties. He might say this was a convenience in his case, however. His mother was from the Anderfells, his father from Tevinter. His childhood was spent in the free marches in Orlais. His people were everywhere, and his homeland was nowhere. He was given the almost impossible task of leading the Wardens in Ferelden, a kingdom that had thrown the Order out 200 years earlier. Facing local suspicion and hostility, he set about finding recruits. Loghain mac Tyr. It takes more than legends to win a battle. Loghain was born a farmer during a time when his country was under foreign occupation. When he was still a boy, he joined the Resistance, where his considerable tactical genius quickly became apparent. He became close friends with Prince Merrick, the last true heir to the Ferelden throne, and together they led the rebels to drive out the forces of the Orlesian Empire. Merrick raised his friend to the nobility, and Loghain is now more of a symbol than a man. He represents the Ferelden ideals of hard work and independence. Win. I will not lie motionless in a bed, with coverlets up to my chin waiting for death to claim me. Win's talent became apparent early on, particularly her skill at healing magic. She was well liked by all her mentors, and was recognized as an exceptionally gifted student. Even the Templars who watched her could not deny that she represented the best the Circle had to offer. She was an intelligent young woman who possessed a quiet confidence and maturity beyond her years. She spent many years mentoring apprentices within the Circle, and her peers thought so highly of her that she was asked to be First Enchanter Irving's successor. But she refused, saying that she had no desire to work in the upper echelons. When word reached the tower of King Cailan's call to arms, Wynne volunteered to go to Ostagar. We'll read through this, and then we'll continue on through the wilds. We already read through the Basilian Forest. The City Elves. It is hard to tell our children about those of our people who have decided to live in the Shemlin cities. They ask, why would anyone want to be treated like that? And sometimes I do not know what to say. I do not understand it myself. They were freed, but they have returned to live in the service of their former masters? They are housed like animals in walled sections of the Shemlin cities. They do the meanest of tasks and are rewarded with nothing. Why? I do not know. We tell the children that the Elven are strong, that we are a proud people, but they hear of these city elves who choose to toil under the human's heavy hand. How do we teach them pride when they know there are others who would allow themselves to be trampled into the dust? So we tell them that these city elves are to be pitied, that they have given up on their people, given up their heritage. We tell them that some people are so used to being controlled that, when freed, they know not what to do with themselves. They are weak and afraid. Afraid of the unfamiliar. Afraid of our life of wandering. Above all, they are afraid to even hope that one day we may have a home of our own. Arlathan, Part 1. Before the ages were named, or numbered, our people were glorious and eternal and never-changing. Like the great oak tree, they were constant in their traditions, strong in their roots and ever reaching for the sky. They felt no need to rush when life was endless. They worshipped their gods for months at a time. Decisions came after decades of debate, and an introduction could last for years. From time to time, our ancestors would drift into centuries-long slumber. But this was not death, for we know they wandered the fade in dreams. In those ages, our people called all the land Elvenon, which in the Old language means place of our people. And at the center of the world stood the great city of Arlathan, a place of knowledge and debate, where the best of the ancient elves would go to trade knowledge, greet old friends, and settle disputes that had gone on for millennia. But while our ancestors were caught up in the forever cycle of ages, drifting through life at what we today would consider an intolerable pace, the world outside the lush forest and ancient trees was changing. The humans first arrived from Parvalin to the north, called Shemlin, or Quicklings, by the ancients. The humans were pitiful creatures whose lives blinked by in an instant. When they first met the elves, the humans were brash and warlike, quick to anger and quicker to fight, with no patience for the unhurried pace of elven diplomacy. But the humans brought worse things than war with them. Our ancestors proved susceptible to human diseases, and for the first time in history, elves died of natural causes. What's more, those elves who spent time bartering and negotiating with humans found themselves aging, tainted by the humans' brash and impatient lives. Many believed that the ancient gods had judged them unworthy of their long lives, and cast them down among the Quicklings. Our ancestors came to look upon the humans as parasites, which I understand is similar to the way humans see our people in the cities. The ancient elves immediately moved to close Elvenon off from the humans, for fear that its quickening effect would crumble the civilization. Arlathan Part 2. You ask what happened to Arlathan. Sadly, we do not know. Even those of us who keep the ancient lore have no record of what truly happened. What we have are accounts of the days before the fall, and a fable of the whims of the gods. The human world was changing even as the elves slept. Clans and tribes gave way to a powerful empire called Tevinter, which, and for what reason we do not know, moved to conquer Elvenon. When they breached the great city of Arlathan, our people, fearful of disease and loss of immortality, chose to flee rather than fight. With magic, demons, and even dragons at their behest, the Tevinter Imperium marched easily through Arlathan, destroying homes and galleries and amphitheaters that had stood for ages. Our people were corralled as slaves, and human contact quickened their veins until every captured elf turned mortal. The elves called to their ancient gods, but there was no answer. As to why the gods didn't answer, our people left only a legend. They say that Fenharil, the Dreadwolf and Lord of Tricksters, approached the ancient gods of good and evil and proposed a truce. The gods of good would remove themselves to heaven, and the lords of evil would exile themselves to the abyss, neither group ever again to enter the other's lands. But the gods did not know that Fenharil had planned to betray them, and by the time they realized the Dreadwolf's treachery, they were sealed in their respective realms, never again to interact with the mortal world. It is a fable, to be sure, but those elves who's traveled beyond claim that Fenharil still roams the world of dreams, keeping watch over the gods lest they escape from their prisons. Whatever the case, Arlathan had fallen to the very humans our people had once considered mere pests. It is said that the Tevinter Magisters used their great destructive power to force the very ground to swallow Arlathan whole, destroying eons of collected knowledge, culture, and art. The whole of elven lore left only to memory. The Grey Wardens. The first blight had already raged for 90 years. The world was in chaos. A god had risen, twisted and corrupted. The remaining gods of Tevinter were silent, withdrawn. What writing we have recovered from those times is filled with despair, for everyone believed, from the greatest archons to the lowliest slaves, that the world was coming to an end. At Weishaupt Fortress in the desolate Anderfels, a meeting transpired. Soldiers of the Imperium, seasoned veterans who had known nothing their entire lifetimes except hopeless war, came together. When they left Weishaupt, they had renounced their oaths to the Imperium. They were soldiers no longer. They were the Grey Wardens. The Wardens began an aggressive campaign against the Blight, striking back against the Darkspawn, reclaiming lands given up for lost. The Blight was far from over, but their victories brought notice, and soon they received aid from every nation in Thedas. They grew in number as well as reputation. Finally, in the year 992 of the Tevinter Imperium, upon the Silent Plains they met the Archdemon Dumat in battle. A third of all the armies of northern Thedas were lost to the fighting, but Dumat fell, and the Darkspawn fled back underground. Even that was not the end. The Imperium once revered 7 gods: Dumat, Zazikel, Toth, Andorol, Razikael, Lusakan, and Earthmaw. 4 have risen as archdemons. The Grey Wardens have kept watch through the ages, well aware that peace is fleeting, and that their war continues until the last of the dragon gods is gone. Some cool stuff. I love the lore of this game. It's so cool. The Korcari Wilds. It is said that in the midst of the Black Age, when werewolves stalked the lands of Ferelden in numbers that kept every farmholder indoors and a hound on every doorstep, a powerful Arl of the Alamari people stood and declared that he would put an end to the threat. His Arling stood on the border of the Dark Forest on the southern border of the Ferelden Valley, and he claimed that the werewolves used the forest to launch their midnight assaults on humanity. For 20 years, this Arl led an army of warriors and hounds deep into the forest in his hunt for the werewolves. He slew not only every wolf he came upon, but also every member of the chastened wilder folk. Any one of them, he said, could harbor a demon inside, and thus be a werewolf in disguise. For 20 years, the forest rang with screams, and the rivers ran red. The tales that say an old chastened woman found her sons all dead at the Arl's blades. She pulled one of those very blades from one son's heart and plunged it into her own chest, cursing the Arl's name as she did so. Where her blood touched the ground, a mist began to rise. It spread and spread until it was everywhere in the forest. The Arl's army became lost, and it is said that they died there. Others say they still wander. The ruins of its Arling stand to this day, filled with the ghosts of women waiting eternally for their husbands to return. The forest of the legend is, of course, the Korcari Wilds. There are many legends about the Great Southern Forest, as there are shadows, or so the saying goes. The chastened wilder folk have made their home there since mankind first came to these lands, and the wildlands spread as far into the south as anyone has ventured. Beyond the mists are vast tracts of snow, white-capped mountains, and entire fields of ice. It is a land too cold for mankind to survive, yet the chastened eke out an existence even there, and they tell of horrors beyond the wilds that the lowland folk could not begin to comprehend. To most, Ferelden simply ends with the Korcari Wilds. There's nothing beyond. The wilds is a land of great trees, wet marshes, and dangerous monsters. What more need be said from the land of the Wilders? Darkspawn. Haven't we already read this one? No, we haven't. Okay. Those who had sought to claim heaven by violence destroyed it. What was golden and pure turned black. Those who had once been mage lords, the brightest of their age, were no longer men, but monsters. Thronodes 12:1. Sin was the midwife that ushered the Darkspawn into this world. The Magisters fell from the Golden City, and their fate encompassed all our worlds, for they were not alone. No one knows where the Darkspawn come from. A dark mockery of men. In the darkest places they thrive, growing in numbers as a plague of locusts will. In raids they will often take captives, dragging their victims alive into the deep roads. But most evidence suggests that these are eaten. Like spiders, it seems Darkspawn prefer their food still breathing. Perhaps they are simply spawned by the darkness. Certainly we know that evil has no trouble perpetuating itself. The last blight was in the Age of Towers, striking once again at the heart of Tevinter, spreading south into Orlais and east into the Free Marches. The plague spread as far as Ferelden, but the withering and twisting of the land stopped well beyond our borders. Here, Darkspawn have never been more than the stuff of legends. In the northern lands, however, particularly Tevinter and the Anderfells, they say Darkspawn haunt the hinterlands, preying on outlying farmers and isolated villages, a constant threat. From Ferelden, Folklore and History. Alright. Where we left off, we helped a dying soldier bandage himself up to get back to the camp at Ostagar. Heard there's a large number of Darkspawn in this forest. Got bodies strewn everywhere, and... oh. Wildflower. We needed that for the quest for the doggo.
Going. wanna die?
To the dead!
There's one. We need 3 vials of Darkspawn blood. So, fun fact, I've never actually completed a playthrough using just a bow. So that's what we're going to try to do today. I know the quest marker has the arrow that way, but I want to know what's over here.
Darkspawn. They just crop up everywhere, don't
I'm off. That won't stop me.
Whoa, I don't like that there's 3 on there.
May our blade strike true!
Going.
Take that!
I'm going to collect as much as the game allows. Chest. Put this away. So quest related. Oh, we should read these because they pertain to quests. I apologize. I should have read them earlier. Letter to Jogby. My dearest son, it pleases me that you wish to follow in my footsteps and bring the Maker's word to the unenlightened. I wish you had chosen a less dangerous place to do so. Apologies for leaving early for the wild, son, but I wanted to set up camp and get things started. The Chastened respect one with survival skills in the wild, so I hope to get a grip on that before you arrived, and maybe establish an agreement with the local tribe so that we had friends when you came. When you reach the wilds, you'll find it difficult to navigate. I've listed certain landmarks below. If you follow them, they will lead you to a location I've scouted, where I've left you some supplies. If you're lost, try to get back to that spot, and I'll find you. The landmarks are as follows. Beginning at the entrance to the wilds from Ostagar, look for a tree leaning on a ruined bridge, pass under a fallen tree bridge, pass a submerged tower on the right, look between a high ruined arch and a mossy standing stone, walk along a path of roots and stones, look for 2 larger statues and with a chest between them. There you'll find our meeting point. I love you, Jogby, my son. I hope to see you soon. Your father, Rigby. Well, this was on Jogby's body. Signs of the Chastened. We got this after receiving Rigby's field journal. The Chastened barbarians are nothing if not clever. They have hidden markers and signs in the arrangements of stones and rubble along the paths of the wilds. In this way, they mark trails, note places of interest, and even give warnings in a way that outsiders cannot understand. Interestingly, these markers look indistinguishable from a regular pile of stones. I've dedicated my time to deciphering these signs, and I believe I am close to a breakthrough. The trail markers seem to point to a hoard or a location used for secret storage among the Chastened. I have only found a portion of this message, however. I think that if I could complete the message, find all the trail markers, I can find this cache and see what treasure the Chastened have to hide. I have found one such marker near this camp, under a fallen tree leaning against the ruins. Each marker seems to point to 1 or 2 others. I hear rumors that a Darkspawn horde is coming. I hope I can find this treasure before it's too late. Well, clearly you didn't. Not much to say there. You did not, indeed, successfully do that. Why did it zoom in? Okay.
More Darkspawn. Great.
They've got a really strategic position up in these, hills. So is it just gonna chase me?
And I'm off. Going.
I bet I can outshoot them.
Oh, right. Yes. Oh, right.
This is not gonna serve me well at points if I need to do one-on-one combat. But let's check on. I was hoping this would be a more action-packed episode, but we've been bogged down by codexes. Ooh, chasing trail sign. What the hell?
Yes.
Alrighty then. So our goal is to get past the Korcari wilds, grab the treaties, and hopefully figure out what this joining ritual is that will save our life. I believe this would be that mossy
I was hoping
bridge.
for something more exciting. Aw, you want to die?
We're very cocky. Although I guess I did choose a cocky voice, didn't
Time
I?
to play?
Yeah! Don't say I didn't warn you!
Go down!
Let's go. We can sell those at camp. But first, let's get this level up. I'll put it into dexterity. Coercion? Yeah, we like coercion. We're gonna need to get more cunning too. Do I get the second lockpick or do I get aim? I think I'm gonna get aim and I'm gonna actually activate it.
Yes.
Oh, right, there's a chest over here. I'll take it. Farewell letter to Jogby. My dear son Jogby, I fear this is the last letter I will write you. I have had difficulty finding the Chastened to bring them the Maker's word. I have, however, seen evidence of their passing. They appear to have left this area in great haste, possibly fleeing the so-called Darkspawn that are rumored to be gathering in the wilds in ever greater numbers. I have left you a weapon and everything else I can spare, my son. I will try to find you once I have found a safe place. I only hope that you will be safe. With luck, we will meet again. If you see her, tell your mother that I love her, and take care of our family. Your loving father, Rigby. Yeah, I mean, I know to most people they're like a myth, but you know, seem pretty real to me. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had to let my dogs out. And we are back.
Look there. Poor slobs. That just seems so excessive. Even more darkspawn.
Can we walk through here? Oh, we can.
And I'm off.
Dead yet?
Oh, wow, that really slows. Oh, man, that is so slow. How much damage does it do? That is really slow. Is there something that speeds it up? Okay. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, I don't think we're going to be wearing much heavy armor, but I might turn that off for now.
Hey, going.
So we can do 30 rapid
Say I didn't warn you!
or 31 slow. Why would anyone take it? Maybe it works better on, like, things with armor? I don't know. I'll have to read it again.
Now this should be fun. Right.
I probably should read it to you guys, too. Although, I assume you guys can read. Or I hope you do. Oh. Well, here's Rigby. Last Will and Testament. Is there a codex with that? To whoever finds this note, this is the last will and testament of Rigby the missionary, proud speaker of the Maker's word. I have come to the wilds to speak the chant, but I fear I will die here at the hands of the Darkspawn. I leave all that I came with to my wife, Jeddah. Should the reader of this note feel charitable, I have buried a sealed lockbox in our camp, nestled in a Tevinter ruin in the western reaches of the wilds. It is my will that this lockbox finds my wife in Redcliffe, and that it is still sealed shut when it reaches her. To my wife and son, I apologize that my work has taken me from you, but know that I die in service to the Maker. Rigby. Sure.
Moving on.
Oh, that's over back where we just came from. Gosh dang it. Okay. I always get lost in here. We're gonna put the bow away. I actually want to read... Aim didn't seem to do anything but make me slow. The archer carefully places each shot for maximum effort. Well, this decreases rate of fire, but grants bonuses to attack, damage, armor penetration, and critical chance. I didn't see any difference. I'm gonna be honest. If 30 to 31 is the difference between, like, shots every few seconds, then... Okay, this is gonna bug me. There we go. Back on your back. There we go. Then is that even worth it? Like, I'm not crazy, right? It was only doing 31 damage. And it was incredibly slow. And it gets slower with the heavier the armor you put on. I mean, I'm only going to put on light or at most medium, but... Oh. Take the lockbox. Yeah, that just doesn't feel worth it to me. I don't know. We'll have to play with it later. Maybe I'll do some research off camera. Just to see if that really does anything. I mean, we haven't really fought anything with heavy armor yet. So... Maybe it's the best I got. And the other things seem to just, like, do special things. They don't seem to do any more damage. Right, I know the pinning one, it immobilizes them, and that one on X is, like, crippling shot, and it makes them weaker.
Never any shortage of these ones.
Oh. He's stuck. I don't know why we're going after him, but there's a lot of them.
That won't stop me.
Yeah, it does a little less, but now he takes more damage. Right, that one did 25. I don't know how the bows work. Does it do a range of damage? I'm not sure. Gonna have to increase my dexterity to find out. Really slowed me down, too.
Yes, going. Trap. So simple to see, really.
Lots of traps. We'll just disarm these.
Yes. And I'm off.
Alright, we seem to be pretty hurt after this one, but I'm not going to use a health bonus. I don't think I need to.
Let's do this quickly, shall we? Oh, wants to fight.
Okay. Took him out. Dead soldier. Pinch of ashes. Torn from a book on local myths and legends. The Korcari wilds are rife with legends and myths that have amazed and confounded scholars since the fall of Ostagar in ancient times. One such mystery lies beyond the tale of Astia and Nebunar, two young lovers who lived in Ostagar. The legend says that Astia grew up in the company of Gazareth, a spirit of the earth bound to an overhang on the bank of the lake in the Korcari wilds. Gazareth began to fancy her, and they spent much of their days together, talking and laughing. Over the years, however, Astia became a woman and began to seek the company of men. When Astia met Nebunar, the two fell in love, and Astia hoped to bring her lover to see her spiritual friend. But the spirit, angered and jealous, bade her begone. Bade her? Bade her? I don't know. Gazareth told her that she would never see it again until she brought her lover's ashes and sprinkled them over their spot. Astia was horrified, and she fled from the enraged spirit. But she began to miss Gazareth, and on the day Nebunar asked her to marry him, she cut her beloved's throat, burned him, and brought his ashes to Gazareth, knowing that their marriage would forever sever her ties to her dear spirit friend. There are legends among the chastened that Gazareth still haunts that lake, and that those who sprinkle the ashes of the deceased over the right spot can summon the spirit. In memory of the contract with its beloved Astia, Gazareth will grant a single wish and then vanish, never to be heard from again. A note is scribbled in the margin beneath the page. Marcus, I think this is real. If you take the ashes I gave you and scatter them over a pile of rocks on an overhang overlooking the half-sunken Tevinter Dome, maybe Gazarth will appear and grant you a wish. If the battle takes you there, I think it's worth a try. Well, I think we should, take the ashes over there. Oh no, they're laughing at me. I don't like that.
Never any shortage of that.
Okay, well, what an ambush, guys. Real successful. Bro's floating. He's just floating here. Alrighty. Well, this would appear to be an overhang at a dome that I guess would be considered Tevinter. And there's a pile of rocks. You see a pile of stones covered in a fine layer of dust and ash. Sprinkle more ash on the pile of stones.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, he is angry. Okay, well, simple enough. Oh. I will read Shade next time. I'm not doing any more Codex reading. Unless I find something quest-worthy. I don't think that's going to be better. I like the bonus we're getting from the Deus armor.
And I'm off.
I do like how I can just go, pop. Yeah, why would I, if it's going to do about the same damage each time, why would I,
Going.
like, maybe it's more consistent? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, there's a big one. Guys, protect me. Protect me.
If you insist.
There we go.
And I'm off.
Why are we running that way? Where are you guys going? Oh, hell yeah. Don't think we're going to be doing too much with crossbows, so I'll sell the bolts, but I will keep the arrows.
Well, well, what have we here? Are you a vulture, I wonder? A scavenger, poking amidst a corpse whose bones were long since cleaned? Or merely an intruder, come into these darkspawn-filled wilds of mine in search of easy prey? What say you, Scavenger or intruder?
I am neither. The Grey Wardens once owned this
Is
tower.
a tower no longer? The wilds have obviously claimed this desiccated corpse. I have watched your progress for some time. Where do they go, I wondered? Why are they here? And now you disturb ashes none have touched for so long. Why is that?
Don't answer her. She looks chastened, and that means others may be nearby.
Oh, you fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
She's a witch of the wild, she is. She'll turn us into toads.
Witch of the Wilds. Such idle fancies, those legends. Have you no minds of your own? You there. Women do not frighten like little boys. Tell me your name and I shall tell you mine.
You can call me a Sham.
And you may call me Morrigan, if you wish. Shall I guess your purpose? You sought something in that chest? Something that is here no longer?
Here no longer. You stole them, didn't you? You're some kind of sneaky witch thief.
How very eloquent. How does one steal from dead men?
Quite easily, it seems. Those documents are Grey Warden property, and I suggest you return them.
I will not, for 'twas not I who removed them. Invoke a name that means nothing here any longer if you wish. I am not threatened.
Then who removed them?
Was my mother, in fact.
Is this a joke?
If so, it seems the truthful rather than funny sort, no?
Great. She's a thieving, weird, talking, funny sort of witch.
Not all in the wilds are monsters. Flowers grow as well as toads. If you wish, I will take you to my mother. 'Tis not far from here, and you may ask her for your papers if you like.
We should get those treaties, but I dislike this Morrigan's sudden appearance. It's too convenient.
I want an honest answer. Are you a witch of the wilds?
Have I been dishonest? Some call us witches, yes, but purely out of superstition.
You know what the Circle of Magi is, don't you? The Circle requires an accounting of all mages. That is the law of the land and the Chantry.
If you wish to tell your chantry about me, go ahead. I have nothing to fear from priests.
Why are you interested in helping us?
Why not? I do not meet many people here. Are you all so mistrustful?
I say we go with her.
She'll put us all in the pot, she will. Just you watch.
If the pot's warmer than this forest, it'd be a nice change.
Follow me then, if it pleases you. Greetings, Mother. I bring before you 4 Grey Wardens who...
I see them, girl. Much as I expected.
Are we supposed to believe you were expecting us?
You are required to do nothing, least of all believe. Shut one's eyes tight or open one's arms wide. Either way, one's a fool.
She's a witch, I tell you. We shouldn't be talking to her.
Quiet, Dareth. If she's really a witch, do you want to make her mad?
There is a smart lad. Sadly irrelevant to the larger scheme of things, but it is not I who decides. Believe what you will. And what of you? Does your elven mind give you a different viewpoint? What do you believe?
I'm not sure what to believe.
A statement that possesses more wisdom than it implies. Be always aware. Or is it oblivious? I can never remember. So much about you is uncertain, and yet I believe. Do I? Why, it seems I do.
So this is a dreaded witch of the wilds.
Witch of the Wild, huh? Morrigan must have told you that. She fancies such tales, though she would never admit it. Oh, how she dances under the moon.
They did not come to listen to your wild tales, Mother.
True, they came for their treaties, yes? And before you begin barking, your precious seal wore off long ago. I have protected these.
Oh, you protected them?
And why not? Take them to your Grey Wardens and tell them this blight's threat is greater than they realize.
What do you mean the threat is greater than they realize?
Either the threat is more, or they realize less. Or perhaps the threat is nothing. Or perhaps they realize nothing. Oh, do not mind me. You have what you came for.
Time for you to go, then.
Do not be ridiculous, girl. These are your guests.
Oh, very well. I will show you out of the woods. Follow me.
Before we talk to Duncan, let's give that flower to the kennel master, who is glitched into the kennel.
The Mabari's stable for now, but not improving. Unless I get that herb I told you about, there's not much hope.
Is this the flower you're looking for?
Let me see. Yeah, that's exactly it. Wonderful. Give me a moment and I'll make this into an ointment. He looks better already. I'm sure he'd thank you himself if he could.
What will happen to him now?
Let's give him a day or two to recover. Why not come back after the battle? Perhaps we can see about imprinting him on you.
You think that's possible?
Maybe. It's likely he understands you're responsible for curing him. Mabari are at least as smart as your average tax collector. Come back after the battle and just... well, take another look.
Then I'll dump some stuff off at the quartermaster, and then we'll continue.
Hello again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps? So long as you
see
keep
your
it
other
quiet.
goods. I'm going to sell these bolts, and that, and that, and that. We got one of those. Don't need that. I don't think we need that. Oh, there's a better one of what we just got. Oh, well. Acid flask. We don't need lyrium right now. I don't think we need that. I'll take the health poultices. And yeah, I'm not going to be wearing any heavy chainmail, and I don't think this is an improvement. I mean, it is, but I really like that rapid aim. So... yeah. Let's get on with it, then.
So you returned from the wilds. Have you been successful?
We have.
Good. I've had the Circle mages preparing. With the blood you've retrieved, we can begin the joining immediately.
Maybe we should tell you about Morrigan and her mother.
There was a woman at the tower, and her mother had the scrolls. They were both very... odd.
Were they wilder folk?
I don't think so. They might be apostates. Mages hiding from the Chantry.
I know you were once a Templar, Alistair, but Chantry business is not ours. We have the scrolls. Let us focus on the joining.
Now will you tell us what this ritual is about?
I will not lie. We Grey Wardens pay a heavy price to become what we are. Fate may decree that you pay your price now, rather than later.
You're saying this ritual can kill us?
As could any darkspawn you might face in battle. You would not have been chosen, however, if I did not think you had a chance to survive.
Let's go then. I'm anxious to see this joining now.
I agree. Let's have it done.
Then let us begin. Alistair, take them to the old temple.
The more I hear about this joining, the less I like it.
Are you blubbering again?
Why all these damn tests? Have I not earned my place?
Maybe it's tradition. Maybe they're just trying to annoy you.
Are all humans such cowards?
I only know that my wife is in Highover with a child on the way. If they had warned me, it just doesn't seem fair.
Would you have come if they'd warned you? Maybe that's why they don't. The Wardens do what they must, right?
Including sacrificing us?
I'd sacrifice a lot more if I knew it would end the Blight.
You make a good point.
You saw those Darkspawns tonight. Wouldn't you die to protect your pretty wife from them?
I am...
Maybe you'll die. Maybe we'll all die. If nobody stops the Darkspawn, we'll die for sure.
I've just never faced a foe I could not engage with my blade.
At last, we come to the joining. The Grey Wardens were founded during the First Blight, when humanity stood on the verge of annihilation. So it was that the first Grey Wardens drank of Darkspawn blood and mastered their taint.
We're going to drink the blood of those creatures.
As the first Grey Wardens did before us, as we did before you. This is the source of our power and our victory.
Those who survive the joining become immune to the taint. We can sense it in the Darkspawn and use it to slay the Archdemon.
let's get on with
We
it then.
speak only a few words prior to the joining, but these words have been said since the first. Alistair, if you would.
Join us, brothers and sisters. Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. And should you perish, know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten, and that one day we shall join you.
Davith, step forward.
Maker's breath.
I am sorry, Davith. Step forward, Jory.
But I have a wife, a child.
There is
Had I
no
known...
turning back.
No, you ask too much. There is no glory in this.
I am sorry. But the joining is not yet complete. You are called upon to submit yourself to the taint for the greater good. From this moment forth, you are a Grey Warden. It is finished. Welcome.
2 more deaths. In my joining, only one of us died, but it was horrible. I'm glad at least one of you made it through.
How do you feel?
I still can't believe you killed Sir Jory.
Jory was warned that there was no turning back, as were you all. When he went for his blade, however, he left me no choice. It brought me no pleasure to end his life. The Blight demands sacrifices from us all. Thankfully, you stand here as proof they are not all made in vain.
Did you have dreams? I had terrible dreams after my joining.
Such dreams come when you begin to sense the Darkspawn, as we all do. That and many other things can be explained in the months to come.
Before I forget, there is one last part to your joining. We take some of that blood and put it in a pendant. Something to remind us of those who didn't make it this far.
Take some time. When you're ready, I'd like you to accompany me to a meeting with the king.
Very well.
The meeting is to the west, down the stairs. Please attend as soon as you're able.
Well, we'll hit the level up. Some points into cunning. We'll get improved tools. And rapid shot. I think that'll probably be better than aim. But that is where we will end it. We will save right here. Glad we got through the joining. And we got to see the true threat behind the Blight. As for that, I hope you all enjoyed. If you liked the video, give it a like. Consider leaving a comment. You got something to say? Love to hear it. I love reading comments. You know, it's something I love to do. And speaking of things I love to do this. This is a hobby. I want to see it go somewhere. And, you want to see it go somewhere too? You want to see more content like this? Make sure you subscribe. Helps me, helps the channel grow. And yeah. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Peace. I mean,